Hello and welcome to this edition of Access Asia. Coming up, earthquake survivors in China face sub-zero temperatures in Gansu province. A record cold front is moving through several parts of the country. And pet cloning is booming in China. Whether to replace dogs or cats, we'll take a look at the controversial industry. Bear sightings and attacks hit an unprecedented rate in Japan, the animals foregoing hibernation due to a lack of food in their natural habitat. Well, there's serious concern for thousands of earthquake survivors in northwest China. Earlier this month, well over 100 people were killed by a 6.2 magnitude quake in Gansu province. Now, with few resources, they are bracing for a record cold snap. Catherine Kadir-Clifford reports.
Huddling in makeshift tents or by fires, finding whatever shelter they can against sub-zero temperatures. In Gansu province, a remote and mountainous part of northwest China, these survivors who have lost their homes face a difficult winter ahead. As they ran out during the 6.2 magnitude earthquake, there was no time to grab supplies.
During the quake, some people escaped their homes without socks on. They just ran out barefoot. It was extremely cold, standing on the ground.
With thousands of homes destroyed across the province, some 87,000 people were left homeless, as temperatures dipped as low as minus 15 degrees Celsius overnight. In the days after the quake struck, there were not enough tents to go round, while further aid made its way to the region.
Me, my husband and my two girls stood outside for the whole night. My kids are now sleeping in our neighbour's tent. We don't have a tent.
We had nowhere to sleep last night. We slept in a car. The car's surface was covered with ice. There was no heating. Nothing we could do.
Thousands of firefighters and rescue workers have been sent to the disaster zone, along with thousands of coats, tents and beds, according to state media. Hundreds of temporary one-room housing units have now been set up. The quake struck as a cold snap came earlier this week across China. Since the beginning of December, winter temperatures have been significantly lower than in previous years, with heavy snowfall across the country. Masses of floating ice have been seen in many parts of the Yellow River in Shanxi province. And northeastern China's Leidong Bay recorded its largest ever sea ice extent for the month of December, covering an area of over 6,000 square kilometers.
We stay in China for our next story about pet cloning. Despite many ethical questions and the high cost, demand is booming. This report from our team on the ground.
This dog is a beloved Chinese film star. He commands such a big fan base that his owners decided to clone him once and then twice. Animal cloning is legal in China, and for some it's become a profitable business. The procedure can cost up to 45,000 euros, depending on the size of the animal. Grief is what convinced Han Weiyi. When her cat Junyu died at just 5 years old, she was inconsolable.
He was like a member of my family. His existence was my biggest source of joy. Now I hope that I can give him another shot at a happy life.
For her, a second life meant cloning. When her cat fell sick, Han Weiyi made sure to take his DNA samples. And now, after a 1-year wait, this is the moment she's been waiting for.
Cloning is a miracle. He's purring. That means he likes me, right? I was ready to do anything for this to work out.
Han Weiyi didn't think twice about paying 13,000 euros for their services. For the cat mum, the resemblance is striking.
The back of his skull is similar to the original. The colour of the fur on his muzzle too. And he's got the same expression, don't you? You can see the strength of his soul in his eyes.
It took several efforts for this clone to see the light of day. Before him, 2 embryos were created and implanted in adult females, but they didn't survive.
There are ethical questions about the use of surrogates. So we're trying to develop new technologies to reduce costs and not have to use surrogate mothers.
Cloning pets and farm animals is illegal in Europe, but in China the business is gathering pace. The process is far from easy, though. It can take years for scientists to hone their skills in transferring an animal's cell to an unfertilized egg. One solution to speed things up is this robot, capable of cloning 1 cell every minute.
For the moment, our aim is to choose the best breeds to clone. I dream of seeing a machine where cells go in on one side and pigs come out on the other. But we're not there yet.
Eventually, the machine is set to be sold to researchers and food companies to commercialize robotic cloning on an industrial scale.
Normally, bear sightings in Japan are down in November and December as hibernation begins, but this year, sightings have actually been unusually high. And due to a lack of food, the animals have left their natural habitat, also giving a rise to the record number of bear attacks. Take a look.
Bear prints in the snow and a trail of half-eaten pumpkins, some 600 meters from school. In Ashibetsu, in Japan's Hokkaido prefecture, police and hunters tracked the beast, shooting it dead.
I'm just glad there was no harm done. There are a lot of people here. I didn't think it would appear in town.
Bear sightings in northern Japanese towns have doubled this year, with many seen in December, when the animal is usually hibernating.
The number of bears have increased significantly in the last 5 to 10 years. The high density situation means there is not enough food available. So the ones that could not get food are coming down to human habitats.
This year has been a record for human attacks, with 6 people killed and 212 injured. Meanwhile, over 6,000 bears have been shot dead. This expert is pioneering gentler methods, heading into the woods alongside his specially trained Karelian bear dog, a breed originally from Finland. The team sets barrel traps with honey inside.
We try to catch as many bears as possible and attach a radio collar. When we see the ones that are making problematic movements, we approach them with a bear dog and scare them away back into the forest.
This antenna is used to triangulate the location of any nearby bears fitted with collars. Then the bear dog plays its part.
You get the bear scent? Okay, let's go.
This bear shepherding technique is unique to Japan. Municipal authorities here say other countries are interested in the model.
Yoshiki is a superstar in Japan. If you're not familiar with the artist, he's a musician that has made his mark in rock, but also classical music. And now he's made his directorial debut in the documentary Yoshiki, Under the Sky. France 24's culture editor Eve Jackson caught up with him. Take a look.
Today's guest is a Japanese superstar who you've probably never heard of. Yoshiki is a heavy metal rock god selling out arenas since the 80s with his group X-Japan, who've sold millions of albums. But he's also a composer and concert pianist who brings the house down in historic venues like the Royal Albert Hall. He's worked with talent from Bono to George Michael. He's in Paris because he loves it, but also to present his first film and to launch his fashion line.
Yoshiki, hello.
Hello.
It is very rare to interview someone who has done so many different things and has got so many things to talk about in their career. You're a composer, a classically trained pianist, a rock drummer, the leader of the beloved group X-Japan. I wondered, how would you describe Yoshiki?
How do I describe Yoshiki? Yoshiki is very hardworking, I guess. A little bit crazy. Pretty artistic, I guess.
Very artistic, I think.
But at the same time, cannot live his life smoothly. So let's see, I composed the piano concerto for Emperor of Japan, 10th years anniversary. So if you listen to that, you think I'm a classical musician. But if you listen to some heavy metal song, then you think I'm heavy metal drummer.
This year you've already done so many things. You played a sold-out tour with the last rock stars. You've done a series of concerts to mark the 10th anniversary since your classical album. These are very different on-stage exercises. How do they compare, being a classical musician, playing the piano, and a drummer rock star?
So I started playing piano when I was 4 years old. I started playing drums when I was 10. So it's very natural for me to be playing piano and playing drums. It's like, it's not that much difference.
But the way you play drums, it's like you give everything to it, don't you?
I do. Yeah, because the way I started playing drums, I lost my father when I was 10. It was very hard. Actually, he took his own life. So I was very angry. So then my mother bought me drum set. So just started hitting drums. It's like I have some anger, releasing anger and something like this. So I started playing drum very aggressively. So then when I was very sad, I was just playing piano, like some, sad song or very melodic song, something like that.
Well, that's it for this edition. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned to France 24.